Hello and welcome to the Cyber1 YouTube channel. My name is Ray and this is part 2 of Fred's right shoulder. In the previous video we assembled most of the upper shoulder section and we're going to continue with the bicep rotator. So this is a servo that I've used previously and have assembled before. It's the same process as I explained in the previous video, and there will be a link in the description for this, where we modified these two to pull the pots out. Okay, so if we look at our diagram, we're working on this part here, which consists of this. This is my second attempt at recording this video. The first one recorded without sound. So what we're wanting to do is use our worm drive again. So that's the worm and the worm gear. And we need to make sure that our parts are spinning freely. If you print with the correct printer settings, this shouldn't be an issue. It should work straight first go. Most common problem I've found with people and printing with these and them not fitting and them having to sand it down, or they're changing their scale to make it work, is they have an incorrect horizontal expansion setting. If you print out the test pieces that are at the top of each of the tutorials on the Inmoov site, these are a very good guide. It prints 2 of them and you should be able to slip them together very easily. If you can't, try setting a slightly negative value on your horizontal expansion, and as you adjust it, you'll either become too loose or just right. As an example, in Cura, I have to run minus 0.15. In Simplify 3D, it's minus 0.10. So even different software can have a difference. Okay, so back into this. Very much like the top shoulder, the bicep rotator, as opposed to the shoulder rotator, it's still a worm drive, and we still need to grease and bearing it. Then we can assemble it all together. Once that's assembled, we can attach it to the rest of the assembly, and then we can attach it to the torso. We're using M3 screws throughout. These longer screws are 30mm long, and they're used to come down through the top and into a captive nut in underneath. A 25mm long screw will probably do the job as well. So let's start by putting some grease on. Next are our bearings. I probably should have assembled this plate before I went too far, but we can still do that now. I forgot to put the screw in that secures it to the servo. What I forgot to do is actually put the servo onto it. That's better. Okay, so this screw definitely has to be a 30mm screw. And now we have the second race of bearings to put in. So like in the last video, these are 6mm ball bearings that I'm using. They're steel bearings. The ones recommended in the Inmoov website are the plastic airsoft bearings, 6mm diameter. So these will work, and in Australia they're a lot easier to get hold of than the airsoft bearings. These are M3 screws. These are 30mm long. Inside here are embedded hex M3 nuts. Same here, over here, and in here. So when we get to doing the bicep, these ones here will go in and secure the side struts on and lock it all together. When we're disassembling the arm or removing the arm off the shoulder, that's where we'll be disconnecting it from in the future. Don't over tighten these. We don't want to embed the bearings in. We just want it to hold it firm. Would appear to have a tight spot somewhere. Okay, so like the other one, if I turn this that way, it should spin in the opposite direction. If it turns in the same direction that you turn the pot, then you need to swap the outer two wires on the pot. Okay, so once the pot's in, it should always return to the same spot. And then we use a little screw to lock it in place. Let's disconnect the power and attach it to the rest of the shoulder. So this will connect in this way. Where assembly order is important. I remember in the original design, this was also a problematic part to put together. Okay, so that's the shoulder put together. What we can do is route our wires around and lock them in place using hot melt glue or something of the like to keep them neat and tidy and out of the way. There is no path actually allocated for maintaining the wires and holding them in position. But now that we've got it back together, let's just put some power on it and see how it looks. This would be mounted in the shoulder on the right side so that the robot is facing me. That is the arm in the downward position. We can tilt back a little bit. Remember, we can adjust that with this pot. And we can rotate the bicep. Now, to help with the orientation of it all, on here it does say front, just so you know. And we'll pull the power there with the block in that place. This would be easier with a servo tester, but I have got one coming. Okay, so next thing we should probably think about doing is labeling some of our wires. Now these ones, or this one, will need to come in through the inside. So there are a couple of options there. We can bring this in through like so and put a join in here and take it through. At some point it is going to have a join in it. If you look through the hole, you can see we've got a half where you can turn most of the way round in there with a ribbon of some sort. So we could bring in a ribbon and extend that way, or we can just use a servo extender cable and extend it that way. So we've got a couple of options we can use. I can probably put that in later. I am going to feed a ribbon cable in and then back down through here anyway, so I might do that then. I did print out one cable pusher, I think was the name of the file, to hold the ribbons against the outside wall so they don't get caught up. Not so much of an issue going through the shoulder, but it is going through into the bicep where the piston for the elbow will come up through. So let's look at mounting this up. This piston screw will screw into here, and we need to mount the pot from this servo, which is this one, to here, and that will key into a hole on the side of this piece here. and then we'll do the program and calibration so that we can demonstrate that shoulder working. To see when that video comes out, don't forget to click on the subscribe and ring that notification bell if you like these videos. Click on the like. Don't forget I do have a Discord channel. There are a lot of like-minded people in the Discord channel and you can ask questions there. Keep in mind that if you have a question, someone else probably does as well, so ask it in the public chat and that way everybody can see what the answer is. There are no silly questions, only the ones that don't get asked. I do have a Patreon account if you choose to support the channel. You can join my two Patreons, Go Lucky and Almorales45. They receive these videos 2 weeks ahead of everybody else. So if you'd like to get ahead of the game, consider becoming a Patreon. And we'll see you in the next video.